gentlemen, boys and girls, enemies and friends, welcome to the show that never ends. You are tuned into On the Real on the R Squared Network, where we keep you up to date in the latest in the world of TV and movies. I'm your host, Steve Johnson, and joining me today is my brother from the same mother, Johnson.
Cheers.
And also joining us, an empty chair. The last best hope for the resistance could not make it today, but he is with us in spirit.
Yes, why Woods, why not, what they call him.
Right, and in honor of Mr. Woods, we have a fun fact.
What's the fun fact?
Did you know that Michael Jackson was supposed to play Jar Jar Binks in the prequels, but Michael Jackson, the reason it didn't happen is because George Lucas wanted to do it all CG and motion capture, but Michael Jackson wanted to do traditional makeup and probably not have the fake Jamaican accent.
Yes.
Ahmed Best is the guy who got the role.
Yes. Maybe that was for Best.
Yes.
Maybe.
Yes.
And I did know that because you told me.
Yes, but also maybe we would look back more fondly of the prequels if it was Michael Jackson in that slot.
Maybe. I mean, he did, a lot of, acting roles in costume that were pretty convincing. He convinced me he was a werewolf as a child.
Right. So, why don't we...
He convinced me he was a scarecrow.
Get on to the news. Okay, so we are going to be a little more free-wielding in this episode. So, no pictures. We're just going to talk about what's going on in the week, because a lot of these news is sort of recycled from last week or sort of follow-ups.
It's the continuation. It's part 2.
Okay. So do we want to do Disney and Fox closing the deal first? Do we want to do James Gunn?
You're the host, bro.
Okay. Let us start with Disney having the Fox shareholder vote on Friday, and it's happening.
No shit, Sherlock.
Mostly.
Duh.
The board of not the board, but the shareholder vote was this Friday, the 27th, and they voted nearly unanimously to approve this deal, which is nearly $20 billion more than they had initially asked for. Some things I want to point out.
Thanks, Comcast.
Some things I do want to point out. Bob Iger, whose contract, or so to speak, to run the company, as a part of this merger, he's agreed to stay on at the company for longer.
Yeah.
But after his tenure is complete, after he shepherds the merger, which is going to take another 3-4 years.
Yes.
He is going to have to pass off the leading duties, or he's going to basically move on from the company and someone else is going to be CEO. And there are many people wondering, what are they going to do with Rupert Murdoch's son, who is currently the CEO of 21st Century Fox?
What are they going to do with him?
Or Fox in general, yeah.
Fire him.
No, they're not. He may be running the shit after Bob Iger leaves.
The dude from Fox is going to run Disney?
Bob Iger's going to stay on for another 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? Which gives him just enough time to run in 2024. By the way, you may not know this, but Bob Iger has very strong ties with the Republican Party.
So he's trying to be president?
One day, yes. Maybe not 2020, but almost certainly 2024. So he's extending his tenure, and it's very funny that he's all buddy-buddy with the Murdochs. But I just say keep all this in mind, is all I'm saying.
I'm not familiar with all this politics stuff. So I mean, you're the one to talk to on that.
Okay, well, now you know.
Yeah. If you don't know, now you know.
Now, my question is, what would you think about the current CEO of Fox, which is Rupert Murdoch's son, running Disney in a couple of years?
Really? What would I think about that?
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter to me who runs it.
It's all theoretical.
It's all theoretical. It doesn't matter to me who runs it theoretically, as long as they don't run it into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, look, they're running it now, and we still get Family Guy and all the other stuff. It seems like the movie arm, which is basically what Fox is getting, of Fox is more liberal.
Yeah.
But the news side is, something.
If somebody from Fox was running Disney, I mean, Disney is not, a political thing. It's just movies they're putting out. It's not like they're going to start putting out, like, Republican propaganda films or some shit.
Why not?
Yeah.
Warner Brothers is putting out The Fountainhead.
Whatever.
Which is an Ayn Rand book.
There's still going to be animated movies. There's still going to be,
with
comic
subtext.
book movies. Yeah, I think you're reading too much into it.
Or not. But
it's not. I mean, you're putting too much politics into Disney movies. If somebody's just coming there to run Disney, still, it's all these other people who are under him who are going to be seeing to the movies. What they're going to decide is, okay, is this screening well? If that's going to get made or not.
Speaking of politics,
it doesn't. I don't think it matters if he works at Fox.
Why don't we talk about the whole James Gunn situation and how it has evolved?
Better, more interesting.
So, believe it or not, I think it's all connected. So, today, the entire cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy,
all these mother effers right here,
put out a joint statement, all signed by them.
Yes.
Basically, speaking out, coming to the defense of
the boy James Gunn.
Of James Gunn. Now, I do find it funny that this happens to come out after the Fox vote.
Oh, because
any coincidence?
Because check cleared 1-2-1-2. That's why they said they timed it. They waited. They waited until the ink was dry, so that they,
By the way, Courtney is probably in the LeVar camp here. He says as long as they give Marvel a blank check, he doesn't give
a shit who
flying 747F. But I find it funny that Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt, except for with the exception of Batista, the good Batista as you call him.
Yeah, because he made a statement first.
Yes. All of them waited saying, I can't say much now. And now, Monday...
Not because they wanted to wait till the check clear.
Right after the vote. Now, this makes me wonder one thing. What if this was all planned and him being rehired was already in the works? Meaning, we gonna fire you just for show before the vote. And then, after the vote goes through, we'll just bring you back and say, you know what, we looked into this and it's probably not right and it's more complex, and we at Disney...
I don't think it was that. They deadass just fired him because the way they disavowed all knowledge of him with that statement don't seem like that. It was just that they jumped the gun. It's just like, holy shit, this is gonna mess up the church's money.
Yeah,
so we gotta get cut ties.
You have the whole...
They didn't even say we appreciate you or nothing. It was just like, it's disgusting and blah, blah, blah. And how...
That was Alan Horn, though, and yeah. Alan Horn has traditionally been a stick in the mud. Alan Horn is Kevin Feige's boss. So yeah. it's like Kathleen Kennedy and Kevin Feige on the same level. They both deal with Alan Horn, and Alan Horn deals with Bob Iger. That's the sort of management structure.
The guy who supply you. Yes,
sure. So, I think that this was all a part of the vote. They were going into the shareholder meeting, and they didn't want any loose ends because this is $71 billion. But my question is, if all, we talked about this before, Zoe Saldana has the new Avatars movies coming up. Even if they do third of what the last one did, it's going to do $1 billion. Right?
But why wouldn't they stick up for their friend? I mean, did you read the statement?
No, I did. I'm actually going to read it live in a moment. My point is, they could just say, look, we're not doing this unless you bring him back.
They have that power.
Yes, Chris Pratt doesn't need this. He has 2 other $1 billion franchises. Lego Movie, Jurassic World.
But why wouldn't you stick up for your friend? It was jokes and poor taste. And the fact that he had been apologized for it before, and you hired him after he had apologized for it, why would you fire him if he had already apologized for it? You know what I'm saying?
Joe says they got trigger happy with Gunn. He's
Haha.
proud of himself. So I want to read.
Great pun for James Gunn. That's a little alliteration.
I want to read the statement that they all put out. So, if I can find it. Here we go. Let me get my fake glasses out. An open letter from the cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy. To our fans and friends, we fully support James Gunn. We were all shocked by his abrupt firing last week and have intentionally waited these 10 days to respond in order to think, pray, listen, and discuss. And wait for the shareholder meeting. I'm adding that. In that time, we've been encouraged by the outpouring of support from fans and members of the media who wish to see James Gunn reinstated as director of Volume 3, as well as discouraged by those so easily duped into believing many of the outlandish conspiracy theories surrounding him. Alan Horn. Being in Guardians of the Galaxy has been a great honor in each of our lives. We cannot let this moment pass without expressing our love, support, and gratitude for James. We're not here to defend his jokes of many years ago, but rather to share our experience having spent many years together on set making Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. The character he has shown in the wake of his firing is consistent with the man he was every day on set, and his apology now and from years ago when first addressing these remarks, we believe is from the heart. A heart we all know, trust, and love. In casting each of us to help him tell the story of misfits who find redemption, he changed our lives forever. We believe in the theme of redemption has never been more relevant than now. It goes on, but the point is they all signed this. This is Chris Pratt, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana, Vin Diesel for some reason, Dave Bautista.
Why didn't he just put I Am Groot? Who would have got it?
Sean Gunn and Michael Rooker.
Rooker? My dude Rooker.
So, I just find it, and we discussed this last week, it is just hilarious to me that the company who won an Oscar for Donald Duck playing Hitler, and the company who did films like Songs of the South, now doesn't believe in redemption for terrible shit a person did years ago.
Who said they don't believe in redemption?
I mean,
they were rash. They were harsh. You know what I'm saying? They made a rash decision.
I think they just decided, look,
basically the Guardian said, that's our boy, and let our boy, come back. It's just like he made them billions of dollars, man. It's just they're like, come on.
The vision
he messed up.
In Infinity War and Thor Ragnarok was the genesis of that was what James Gunn was doing.
We know anybody who reads it know he's not serious when he said that shit, and it's terrible jokes. They were terrible jokes. He was trying to be edgy, yes, but it's not like it just happened. If it just happened, that'd be a different thing. But this is some shit that people knew about before. But just because everybody didn't know about it, people knew about it before though. And he apologized. So how you gonna,
apologize before he was in trouble? Yeah. And again, this is not like Roseanne.
How you gonna crucify a man twice for the same crime? You know what I'm saying?
And you hired him when that was already out there in the public. Now, here's the thing, and Joe brings up a very important point, which is this is a good way for us to sort of segue. Joe says he might be the first to escape the grasp of the Me Too sub-movements.
Except for
Chris Hardwick. But we're coming there. And now, this is the thing why I wanted to talk about this, right? And we're going to come to Chris Hardwick right now.
Yeah.
I am curious to know how many people that stuck up for James Gunn did not stick up for Chris Hardwick.
I know a lot of people who didn't stick up for Chris Hardwick. And
I asked this question for a reason. I get that what Chris Hardwick was accused of is not the same thing as what James Gunn did. But my point is the very nature of the objection to
forgiveness.
Right. The
or
nature
second chances?
of the objection to James Gunn's firing is let's not overreact. Let's look in the context of what happened. But those same people who sort of say, and you should, I want to be clear here, you should believe anyone who comes forward to accuse, but you also
No, you
cannot
shouldn't.
try things in the court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If someone makes an accusation, take them seriously, look into it. But
Yes.
when we say you can't ask any questions and you can't say, hey, let's get the facts first, or
Yeah.
somehow you are in support of misogyny, I think that we get into this idea of mob rule. And mob rule bites both ways. And I find it funny that many people who didn't come to the aid of, say, an Aziz Ansari or a Chris Hardwick, but will come to the aid of James Gunn. Why do I say this? Because I think that many people were upset that it was a... By the way, Mike Cernovich is a scumbag. That's the guy who sort of brought the whole James Gunn thing to light, right?
Yeah.
Not in support of that guy. But what I'm saying is I think that liberals did not like the idea of a conservative taking down one of their own. And
Okay, let me say this about the Chris Hardwick thing. A lot of people in this whole Me Too movement, not that Me Too movement is not a relevant thing, and not that there aren't men out there who abuse their power or use their influence over women. There are a lot of men who do that. But you can't judge someone just because an allegation is made without all the facts coming out. Like, it's just like, if you're a celebrity and you're a man, you're a prisoner of your celebrity. The way that they tried to crucify this guy, Superman, Henry Cavill, the other day, just because
but that didn't catch steam.
It didn't catch steam, but they tried to crucify him because he said that a woman can say you raped her or accuse you of anything just because you talked to her.
Now, John Oliver actually did a piece on this on his show Last Week Tonight, and I think it highlights sort of something.
If a woman can prove that she was in the same place with you at the same time,
that's not fair.
No,
a lot of women get caught out there and then they get no retribution.
Hold on, because I'm not saying that is what all women do. I said it is a very real thing. But there are a lot of women out there who are opportunists, women who are scorned women, and they don't talk about that because as soon as a woman comes out with allegations, you're just supposed to automatically off rip believe the woman. And that's this whole mob mentality that everybody just believes the woman off rip. There are a lot of opportunist women out there, like say a Selena Powell, who she was there saying she was pregnant by Offset. She was with this one or she was with that one just because she can prove that she took a picture with someone, or she'll make up a story like Photoshop images of text conversations and all type of shit, and then it'll get steam going.
I understand that.
You can't just take a person's side just because they say something. Study the facts.
So please correct me, but it sounds like you're saying that we shouldn't believe people when they make an accusation.
Not off rip. Look into it.
But I see this is the problem. I think we should.
I don't automatically believe something just because somebody says it. I need to know all the facts of the case before I crucify somebody and say, oh, call for their firing just because somebody made an allegation.
But what about all the shit that women have had to endure when they didn't have the platform of social media?
Okay, look how they tried to, it didn't catch and go nowhere, but look what they tried to do to Stan Lee and what they tried to do to Morgan Freeman. You feel me? And it caught no steam, but the fact that people even made it a story, even made it onto the news is ridiculous.
I think that points to a hole in your argument, because the people who actually didn't do anything, like Chris Hardwick, allegedly, right? Like Aziz Ansari, like Morgan Freeman, like Henry Cavill, they're fine. Nothing happened to them.
Nothing happened to them, but
The only
there
thing,
were a lot of people. If you read comments or even
comments
people
don't
I
mean
know,
anything. What
people
you
I
want-
know who just say, "Oh, they did it because
Yeah,
they
but,
were accused
but
of it."
people can say whatever they want. The
Yes,
point
I'm aware
is-
of that, but this is the same thing you were talking about with mob mentality, and you start to read the comments and see thousands of comments. Even if it's some bullshit, there will be this whole mob
Yeah,
mentality,
I know,
and people are guilty. But if the majority of people believe that you didn't do it, then it goes nowhere.
Right, but where do we have a case where someone actually didn't do anything, and like, because Kevin Spacey did that shit,
Yes.
right? So point to me.
Why is he not in jail though?
He's rich and he's white. But
Okay.
point to me a case where someone didn't do anything wrong and it wasn't like they had to like suffer the consequences. Was it messed up for a little while for Chris Hardwick? Sure, but he got his job back before the season starts. So
yeah, but I know some people still think he's a piece of shit just because. And they think just because he got money, and people like you who say it's because he's married to whatever, and that she has power, that's why.
That's not people like me. Chris Hardwick is married into the Hearst family.
So you don't think that he's innocent of what he was accused of, or you think it's just because he's married to Patty Hearst?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he got his job back because of he's connected to that powerful family. Yes. Someone else may not have gotten their job back.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make. But what I'm saying is, all I'm saying is we need context. So the context is if someone makes an accusation, believe them and look into it. Yeah. But don't, just because you have people complaining on Twitter, just saying we're firing people and sort of ruining them and like they can't go anywhere. That's a problem. We can do two things at once. We can believe women, but at the same time not succumb to like scarlet letters. You know what I mean? And turn into like
I'm not off the rip believing a woman just because she made an allegation.
No, but you need to investigate.
Yes.
The
if I read it and it sounds like some bullshit, then it's some bullshit. I don't give a shit. No,
it's not if it sounds like bullshit, because sometimes people that we love do terrible things, and we could like, I can't believe, Kevin Spacey was doing what he did to 14-year-olds.
No, because if you hear
Kevin Spacey was my guy, and then I'm like, oh wow, that's whack.
You knew he was a child molester. He was a fish. If you seen, because it's like art imitates life. American, what was that? American Beauty. When the father killed him because he thought he was a fish with his son, which is what he was doing in real life.
About American Beauty, yeah.
Yes.
But my point is,
it's crazy when you think about how art imitates life with that movie.
But we can do two things at once. I think because we live in this like sort of reactionary culture right now, that people are just like, oh man, somebody did something, let me go scream into the void. I've done my work, he got fired, let me move on to the next person. And that's not, I don't think that's sustainable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, Courtney says it sucks because Casey Affleck could have been Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Because you know how he got caught out there. All right. Now, do you want to add anything else to this Chris Hardwick thing? Because he is actually getting his job back, which means Yvette Nicole Brown does not get to host The Talking Dead.
Yeah, she's going to co-host it.
That's what I'm saying. I'd be happy with that if they were co-hosts. She was
I
always the best guest on there.
I always thought that she should be the second seat on that show. It should be her and Chris Hardwick.
I think she knows more about like
she's more invested in the show and she takes notes. So I honestly think they should be co-hosts. It should have been that. It should have been that. I'd watch it more.
That's true. I think
all I'm saying is don't be believing all these hoes, bro. Some of these hoes be lying.
Cut it out. Stop it.
There's women who be telling the truth.
Stop.
But stop be believing all these hoes, bro. Some of these hoes be lying.
Stop. We're not doing that.
Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Stop caping over there, Steve.
Okay.
You can be Captain Save all you want.
Okay, stop.
But stop caping.
I'm not doing that. I'm not.
You don't have to.
No.
You do not.
No. Listen.
You do not.
Movie Pass.
Yes.
Movie Pass is in a lot of trouble. Movie Pass. Right? So this week, a lot of people.
You don't have to co-sign
got
that.
to
Steven does
use-
not co-sign my statements, okay?
A lot of people tried to use their movie pass this week, and they was like, boom, slow down, baby.
Yeah.
They couldn't use it. It was blocked out. Now, that comes
I
on
knew
the
that shit wasn't gonna
heels.
last, bro.
That comes on the heels of them introducing surge pricing.
Mhm.
Right? So it's like, oh, this movie's hot right now. You'll just have to pay a little extra based on the demand. But then people were going in theaters, buying tickets. It's like, hold on, what demand? I'm the only person in the theater. And then other people were saying, oh, the surge price was actually higher than the normal cost of the movie ticket. But it gets better. They
gotta pay
ran
for
out of
yeah.
money last week, so they had to take an emergency $6 million loan just to pay.
Which is gonna last like a fucking week.
And here's some new news. Our brother Robert tried to use his movie pass today, only to find out Regal and AMC no longer take movie pass.
I'm glad I never spent money on that shit. Are you
It
still
gets
being charged
better.
with it? Or you
It
cancel your
gets better.
shit?
Hold on. It gets better. So their stock
Are you still paying for
was
it?
on. I think I am. Their
Why?
stock. I'm still paying for Hulu. Like, it's just they charge me. I forget about it. Listen.
Do you even watch it? No.
No. But I do plan to watch The Handmaid's Tale. Okay. Now, their stock was on the verge of being delisted. Helios and Matheson was on the verge of being delisted on the NASDAQ.
Yes.
Because it dropped below $1. It's penny stock status. And they needed to get the price above $1 so that they could continue to be listed in the market. So they did an old trick called a reverse split. So what this says is they essentially merge the stock, right? So let's say you have 100 shares of Helios and Matheson, and it's a penny each. So they merge those 100 shares, and now your 100 shares become 1 share, but they're still worth $1. You follow me?
Not really, but continue.
The point is they merge your stock. So you have a bunch of cheap stocks, and you own a lot of them. So now they're merged, so it's worth more, but you own the same amount. You own the same value, but you own less of them.
Okay.
Right? Here's the thing. The same day they did that, the stock price still plummeted. So essentially, they were at like 30-something cents a share.
Yeah.
They merged the stock.
Yeah.
And then that would mean the stock was worth $25 a share because it was like something like 250 shares became 1 share, something like that.
But when the price dropped, then people shit went.
So now you may have had, but when the day started, you may have had 250 shares.
Yeah.
Those 250 shares
25
became 1
shares?
share.
Yeah.
Right? And then the stock dropped by half. So your 250 shares became now a half a share, or the value of a half a share. It was 1 share that had half the value it had before. And so right now, and that was the first day. Today, which is like 5 days later, if you look at the price, it's basically worth a half a cent, value-wise.
And it was 30 cents before.
Something like that.
Mother Effers is jumping out the window if all it was investing in was MoviePass.
But here's my question. I look at MoviePass like Napster, right? They came out with an idea to get people going back
and
to
now
the theaters.
AMC stole it. They was like, that's hot. Since we already own theaters, now we're going to do it ourselves.
Right, and they can give themselves their own discount.
Yes.
And so, here, my other question is, were they pushed out of the market?
Of course they were.
No, what I mean is, will AMC and Regal and all of these guys cancel their MoviePass-like services?
After they close out MoviePass?
Yes.
Probably.
That would kind of suck.
Yeah, but then they'll get their money back because now you have to come to the movies again. But realistically, movies come on demand so quickly now while they're still in theaters. Like, why do you even need to go to the movies anymore? Like,
speaking of movies coming on demand, Avengers Infinity War comes out on Blu-ray tomorrow. Not Blu-ray, but digital
and it's
like
still
later
in the
next week.
movies. It's the
Yeah.
whole thing.
Yeah. So is Black Panther.
Yeah, it's just like 2 and 3 weeks after a movie is out, that shit is on demand and you can watch it. You can get the digital and watch it on your TV.
Here's the thing that
So
I actually
why,
think,
like,
I think here's the thing.
why even go to the movies
I
anymore?
think that Movie Pass was actually good for movies, not the Marvels, because they're gonna get your money anyway. But there are so many movies that I went to see because of Movie Pass that there's no way I would have left my house to leave. I would have waited till it came on streaming, but it was like, I have Movie Pass, let me go see this in the theater. And I saw a lot of independent movies, and I think it helps the smaller budgeted movies that are not starring like Captain America or Superman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it's a
I mean,
good
it's
idea.
always good to see sci-fi movies in the theaters because it's meant to be seen
Yes,
like that.
Courtney,
But smaller
tomorrow.
movies are like I don't have time for that, especially when you got like Apple TV and all that shit, and you could just click it on your phone or you click it on your Apple TV and just watch it.
Nah,
like,
no, but it's a lot of filmmakers out there that's trying to put stuff in theaters. Hey, Steve Jr. is watching us.
I feel you.
So, you know, that's.
But yeah, basically, Movie Pass, RIP. You effing done, son.
Now,
You out of here.
Speaking of movies going.
I never paid for it. I knew it was too good to be true. I was just like, how does that even make sense? I was like, how do they make money?
First of all,
When you was telling me about it, I was just like, you still got your money's worth because you seen mad movies that you would have not seen otherwise. So even though it's done, you got your money's worth.
Right. And again, like, I just think I'm sad to see it go, and I was there since it was like $35.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
In its infancy. But I knew it was going to fail because I was like, there's no way that this business model can sustain itself. It's like, because they're getting capital from all these people buying into it. But I was just like, it makes no sense because it's just like, the price of a ticket is this much, and like, how are they going to make money? How is that going to sustain itself? If people are going to see like this many movies that they would otherwise have to pay each time they want to see it. Sure, you get more people going to the movies, but it can't pay for itself.
Right, and as long as AMC keeps...
Their point to sustain itself is just like people would have to buy it, and then they would hope people don't use it because it's so cheap.
Well, that's what they said.
Yeah.
The CEO basically called it insurance. Like, you get it hoping not everyone will use it. So the other thing is, I think they should just have from the beginning said, listen, you can't go see movies opening weekend.
Yeah.
Because $10 a month and then you just go see stuff that has been out for a while, I still think that's a fair deal. Yeah. I was already, because, you know, you can't see IMAX and stuff, but I was already paying for every, like, big, you know, Marvel, Star Wars, DC movie.
Even if you was using your Movie Pass, you were still paying for anybody who went with you.
Right.
So it's not like they still wasn't getting your money anyway.
Oh, man. There's someone who I won't name is downloading Infinity War right now. I'm not sure if that's a completely legal copy. But,
yeah.
In any event, speaking of movies going straight to VOD, do you remember...
Mowgli?
Yes, Andy Serkis's, which they released a trailer for it and everything. It looks like a super expensive movie.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, guess what? Straight to Netflix. Netflix bought it from Warner Brothers for $50 million. Which is probably a third of what it cost to make.
So they just wrote it off?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why. So apparently
when I heard they were making the movie, I was just like, why? How does it make sense if they already made the Jungle Book movie?
Here's the problem. They were making,
they were making it at the same time, but because Andy Serkis was doing it and it was his movie, this Disney shit was bankrolled and it came out faster.
No, it's not. I mean, look, they had the money. It's Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers has as much money as Disney, whatever, right? But
it's just like you got to be first to market.
That was the problem, but they still thought they had an avenue until they saw what Disney put out.
And how good it was.
They were expecting Disney to put out something
that was subpar.
That was not subpar. They just thought it would be more family friendly.
Yeah.
And if you watch the Jungle Book, it was kind of dark, right? It was kind of serious. They had Idris Elba as
Shere Khan.
yeah. So
It's very similar to the cartoon.
right, and so
Like it's almost exactly the same, except like King Louis is like huge.
Right, but so when they saw how that came out, they was like, "Whew." And then they're putting out a Jungle Book 2.
They were making a part 2 to that.
To Jungle Book, yeah.
When is that coming out?
Next couple years, 1 or 2 years from now.
Yeah, it would make no sense to put that out.
So they were like, "Look, this thing, nobody's
sense.
gonna know what it is. It's gonna confuse the
Yes.
audience, and they're gonna put it out." Now Netflix bought it, and Andy Serkis came out trying to do the apology tour. He's like, "No, it's really good that it's at Netflix. Netflix, they're investing so much into their creators, and they're just giving me the time to finish it." And it's like,
no, but I'm pretty sure Netflix. I mean, it's not like whatever money they spent, they didn't spend $200 million on it already, or however much it cost. They didn't spend that much on it already. I'm sure it was still CG that needs to be done, and Netflix would pay to finish the rest of it.
yeah, especially since they got it from the bargain bin.
Yeah, but it's just like the money that they front you. It's just like they hadn't spent all this. It wasn't done yet. So Netflix will spend the rest of the money to finish the movie, so it could still be a good movie. So I won't say just because it's on Netflix, it's gonna suck.
No. I think this is actually works out best for everybody because it wouldn't have been a good fit for the theater. Like Disney
it's just like
to the punch
because it's on Netflix. I will look at it and it's as its own thing, and it won't confuse anybody because it's just like the Jungle Book 2 is coming out.
Right, and that's the thing. Like, it's the perfect place for Netflix because they'll be like, oh, because you see like fake
everybody's gonna see it because Andy Serkis has a proven track record for doing.
It's super high quality. It's probably gonna be the highest quality thing they've done as far as CG than anything. So
I don't think that they took a loss on it. They sold it to them, but it's not like they spent that much money on it already.
What do you mean?
Warner Brothers.
No, Warner Brothers spent $150 million on it.
150 million already?
Yeah.
In the hole?
Yeah, in the hole. Yeah.
Well, still, Netflix is going to spend more money on it.
No, Netflix has it already, and sure, they'll spend
because it wasn't finished.
stuff they need, but they don't see, the thing is that we got to understand is that you don't just spend $100 million or $150 million on a movie. You still have to spend another $50 to $100 million just for marketing, right? So Netflix doesn't have to do that. Netflix is just like, yo, this movie's coming out next week. Put it on everybody's screen. We know you watch us every day.
What they're going to do is the same way they do with everything else. They're going to advertise the shit out of that movie and put it on billboards everywhere, just like how they do with Daredevil or whoever. And you're going to see it in Times Square, and you're going to know that it's coming out on Netflix.
Netflix really doesn't do that with a lot of shows. They do it with Stranger Things and sometimes Daredevil. Yeah. But they don't do it with most of their shows. But because they have this platform, right, where the barrier of entry for them is so small because you're already paying them, you're going to watch it in your house. It's not a big deal. Everybody's looking for what they can watch when they Netflix and chill.
All I'm saying is in Times Square they have billboards, like digital billboards and shit, like for every show, for everything that's coming out on HBO. You'll see it there.
They probably have one billboard that they rent and they switch it. What I'm saying is the Netflix marketing costs are way less than what a studio has to spend to market a movie to get people to come to a movie. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
But because they have that ability to screen you're always watching, put this in front of you and tell you to watch this next.
Yeah.
So I think it's
all I'm saying is I'm gonna watch it.
Now, I don't think you would have watched it before.
If it was an Andy Serkis movie, I would watch it because he was great in Black Panther. He was great as Caesar. He was great as freaking Gollum. Why wouldn't I watch?
Or he was great as the Hulk because he's been helping them with the Hulk stuff for a while.
I mean, why would I not watch a movie Andy Serkis did? You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
I'm just asking, would you have gone to the movies
to see it? No, I didn't go to the movies to see Jungle Book.
No, so that's my point. And so, but you.
I just told you what's the purpose of going to the movies if in 3 weeks I could watch it on damn Apple TV.
Why'd you go see Infinity War?
Because it's a Marvel movie and I support Marvel. You don't see all this Marvel stuff here.
Justice League.
Huh? Because you told me we're going to see it, and I see comic book movies just so I could lie and give away all my credibility and say it's good.
Are you going to skip Aquaman?
worse and worse every time I see it. I'm sorry for lying to you people, but I'm gonna go see Aquaman though.
Are you gonna go see Shazam?
Even though it looks like mad terrible, like them sharks. At least when he was
I
a kid.
disagree.
No, not
Aquaman,
the robot, like where they have the harnesses on the sharks and sharks shooting freaking laser beams. Sharks with freaking laser beams.
No,
okay.
but to me, Aquaman was the second best trailer of Comic Con. The best trailer was Godzilla, King of the Monsters.
Godzilla.
Don't do it.
Godzilla, King of Monsters. Yes. Godzilla was alright. Trailer.
Looked dope to me. Had Millie Bobby Brown in there.
They better. All I'm saying is, at the very end of the movie, they better show Kong, yo. Because if it's King of Monsters and you showing all of these, monsters that Godzilla fought, you better show Kong at the very end in the after credit scene.
I'm sure they will, because they alluded to stuff. Okay, here one other thing, and I know you don't care about this a lot, but we'll just throw this in there. Game of Thrones they are coming back in early 2019.
And they canceled all prequels.
Except for one. There's one that's moving forward. And I'm actually excited about the one that's moving forward.
Yeah.
It is the one that chronicles...
Targaryens?
No.
What?
Actually, believe it or not, no. The one that's going forward, because they had 5 in production and they were just going to choose the best one. The one that's going forward is the one that chronicles the first long night.
Oh, when the world ended before?
Yes. When winter came. First time.
So they get to tell you the same story, but how it happened before.
Yes.
Just like basically if they showed you the Matrix of the 6 other times that the world had ended before.
Yes.
But different. So same shit, but different.
Yes. Okay, and some other...
you think there'll be incest? Of course there will be.
You know that there will.
All these, it'll be more family.
I was actually very interested in the whole...
family realm.
Beginnings of the Targaryen. But you know what? No, because the Targaryens weren't there. They were still in... they were not in... they were not in
Westeros?
Yeah, they were not in Westeros yet. But the other news is J.J. Abrams has released the cast list for Star Wars Episode 9.
Oh, and Princess Leia and Luke are back.
Yes. And here's the thing. By the way, Courtney says he wants Robert's Rebellion, but sorry, it's not going to happen. George R.R. Martin says that has been explained enough that we don't need to see it. Yeah. I somewhat disagree. I'd actually like to see Robert's Rebellion. But in any event...
Man, they could show you that shit in a flashback episode.
They have many times.
Yeah.
Star Wars Episode 9... J.J. Abrams says that they didn't want to recast or use CG and that they got the blessing of Carrie Fisher's daughter
to use CG?
To use the footage that he had left over from Episode 7. So then they found a way to fit it in.
Okay.
So they could give her a proper send-off. Now, here's the thing.
But it'll be along with CG.
He specifically said he didn't want to do CG in his statement.
They super did CG of her in the last film.
Yeah, but that's because they had to. She was out in space. That's different from, being in a scene and doing like a Tarkin kind of thing that they did with Rogue One. But I say all this to say...
But I'm saying they did that scene. Was that shot that way before she died? Was it supposed to be in the scene with that whole her going out and then them bringing her back?
They said the movie was done before she passed away.
So did that her dying and coming back to life, was that already in the movie, or did they do that afterwards?
I'm pretty sure.
Are you sure?
Or yeah. Why would they need to add her coming back to life?
That whole them doing the CG with her, did they do that all in CG because she was dead? And
no,
they needed to shoot that?
They couldn't fly her into space and have her
so
be
they had already
and use
shot,
the force.
But they had already shot everything they needed to shoot for her?
Yeah, they said the movie was done before she passed away. They didn't change anything. Because people asked if they were gonna make her die in that movie because she passed away, and they're like, no, that the movie was done already.
Yeah, like when I seen her blow up, I was just like, wow, that's just how they're gonna do it. Just like shit. I know she's dead, but shit.
I mean, they could have worked if they did it later in the movie, but
yeah.
Okay.
I was like, wow, Kylo's a piece of shit, isn't he?
But he didn't. Did he shoot?
He didn't do it. It's like the other people. He hesitated.
Though, so he
hesitated to do it.
He's still a band man. Okay.
You think he might come to the light side?
He better not.
Or Ray gonna go to the dark side? Ray's not gonna go to the dark side because she would have went then.
I'd kind of like to see that, but Star Wars is so like political now that people would read too much into it.
But I think at some point, do you think Star Wars is ever gonna end where they're gonna find peace between light and dark?
No, and they better not until they do
because Ray and him is the one that could do it.
I mean, they could, but then
there'll be this glorious wedding, and you see Sith, and
and people just gonna
Jedi.
Forget that it's Kylo's fault that Luke and Han is dead, and it'll be nice.
Nah, Luke just turned into a Force spirit. He just disintegrated for no reason.
Oh, speaking of Luke,
like how he just turned into a Force spirit without somebody killing him. Explain that shit to me. Riddle me that shit.
Because he had to use all his energy to do the Force
to project himself.
Yeah. Here's the thing, though. This is what I want to ask.
Real?
If you look at,
I wanted to say N-word, but
if you look at The Last Jedi, it seems like Rian Johnson went out of his way to crap all over everything J.J. Abrams did in Episode 7. Oh, you care about whose Rey's parents are? Guess what? They're nobody. Oh, Snoke is a big bad guy? Guess what? We're going to kill him because he was talking too much shit.
Yes, I see everything except that you're about to kill me with a lightsaber that is sitting directly next to me.
Oh, you want
I see who your enemy is.
We
Stupid.
Oh.
That shit was dumb as hell.
The big mystery is why Luke went away. What is he going to say with his first word? Zoinks. Let's just throw away the lightsaber. Everything.
That shit was so terrible.
Everything that
he's gonna train her to be wield the lightsaber, but she doesn't need him for shit, so she just chills out there. And he's keep telling her yo, I don't train nobody no more. Why you still here? But why'd you leave? Don't leave.
Everything that the good J.J. Abrams set up, and I was not one of those people who was like, oh, I don't like Episode 7. I thought it was the perfect handoff to the new generation, and I thought it was the perfect way to recapture the magic of A New Hope. So I'm not one of those people who's changing my mind now. But I think J.J. Abrams, the master of mystery, is the wrong person or Rian Johnson is the wrong person to follow up from the master of mystery, right? J.J. Abrams is all about setting up secrets and letting the audience figure it out. And Rian Johnson is all about, oh, you think I'm going to do this? Guess what? I'm going to do that. I don't think you put those two together. You give Rian Johnson a different story to tell in another part of the universe. I say all of this to say, what if, because of what Rian Johnson did to what J.J. Abrams tried to set up, J.J. Abrams comes back and you know what? F what Rian Johnson did. Luke is still alive.
Yeah, nah. He's super dead, though.
He's going Force Ghost, I know.
He's super dead. But no, if you're a Jedi, you never die unless you're Mace Windu.
No. Guess what? George Lucas is on record saying Mace Windu's not dead, or he didn't die from that fall.
What did he die of?
Maybe he's dead all these years later because it's 40 years later, or 60 years later.
His hands just got cut off and he just fell down a void and nobody ever wants to look for him?
He probably got his hands replaced by metal. And he's like, F this Jedi stuff. Take it by purple.
So where is Mace Windu then?
He's gone. That was 60
shit.
Years ago. That was before Luke Skywalker was born.
He better make a cameo in the next one, is all I'm saying.
How? It's 60 years later.
So why is he not a Force Ghost then?
I mean...
Jedis never die. He should be a Force Ghost.
I mean, maybe he is.
If he ain't in the next movie, son, it's not real, bro.
All I'm saying is the creator, George Lucas.
Why can't the only black Jedi never come back? Huh? That's all I'm saying, son. It's racist.
The creator said Mace Windu didn't die from that fall. That's
so what did he die of? And if he's dead, then he would just become a Force spirit.
He died of old age.
So then he would be a Force spirit, Mace Windu.
Maybe he is. That don't mean he got to
So
show up.
why they don't ever show
and
up?
Come hang
They
out.
show up all of them. They show them again. Why they never showed him? Because Lucas don't run it no more.
No, it's only been 2 movies.
It's been 3 movies.
I mean, I guess if you're gonna count Rogue One, but
Yes.
that's a different story. And no, there were no Jedis in Rogue One, so you can't really count that.
Why didn't he just show up though? Why can't Sam Jackson
Because it got to
just show
be
back
right
up?
for him to show up.
All I'm saying is, bring back Jedi's, bro. They had us thinking that Finn was a black Jedi, but it was
And
all
Courtney points
all
out
BS.
not all Jedi
More
can be
black
Force
Jedi's,
ghosts.
bro.
Courtney points out he's a
Oh,
virgin.
just not the black ones? Is that what it is, Courtney?
Oh,
You see?
man.
You see?
Come on.
All the white Jedi's became Force ghosts. Even the goddamn green, goddamn Yoda became a Force ghost. Why no black Force ghosts is what? That's the problem.
That's the conspiracy.
It's a conspiracy.
Okay. All right. I do want to.
I'm signing a petition. I want black Force ghosts. I want more black Jedi's.
I want to read a tweet from Chris Pratt, by the way. Chris Pratt.
Oh, Billy D's supposed to be in this new movie too, right?
Yes, he is.
You see, maybe they bring back Mace Windu. That's what I'm saying.
But Chris Pratt,
Mace Windu.
just in relation to the James Gunn stuff from earlier, he says, although I don't support James Gunn's
We're doing two support. That's enough.
Inappropriate jokes from years ago, he is a good man. I'd personally love to see him reinstated as director of Volume 3. If you can, please read our joint statement. Zoe
Why
Saldana.
are we going back to that?
No, just because I saw the tweet. I saw that James Gunn tweet.
The tweet is just...
not James Gunn, Chris Pratt.
Yeah, but the tweet is just a link to the Instagram post that they all just reposted the same thing.
Yes.
So whatever you're saying is just a preface to that. Click on that to read the Twitter link to the Instagram.
In case you think he just put his signature and shut up, he's personally talking about it. That's all I'm saying.
He's like, please read this Instagram post that we all signed. But he basically said that's my ninja, and give him his job back.
What I think is that this was all a part of the plan, and he was never really fired. It was just like, yo, we got to get this money real quick. Stay quiet. We want to look like we fired you so we can get through this shareholder vote. And then when that's all done, we're going to have these dudes in this carefully prepared statement that was probably written by the PR folks at Disney.
Yeah, that's bullshit, because they wouldn't have shit on him like that if that was the case.
I mean,
they wasn't planning on giving him his job back, but because the cast is some real ones, especially my guy Batista, he's the realest one.
Have you noticed?
He's the realest one.
Have you noticed that Kevin Feige said nothing about this? He's probably royally pissed because he was grooming James Gunn to take over.
James Gunn is coming back, bro, but it's just like he never gave a statement at all.
Not at all.
Because he want to see how it's going to play out.
I don't think it's that. I think he's mad, and at his position, he can't go against the
shareholders, bro. They're trying to get this shmoney. They're trying to get this shmoney, bro. At the end of the day,
you gotta be clear, like Kevin Feige was trying to groom James Gunn to take over when he was done with all of this. He was putting James Gunn in charge of the whole cosmic part of the MCU. So
all I'm saying, this was all about James Gunn not fucking up Wolverine coming to the goddamn MCU. That's what it's all about. Wolverine is in the MCU. You can't fuck that up. We love you, James Gunn. We know you made billions of dollars and shit, but you can't mess that up. I
say rehire James Gunn.
He's back though. I really think the petition is gonna work, or because the whole cast signed it, people didn't want to see James Gunn go in the first place.
Yeah, but is Alan Horn gonna admit that he was wrong? Because it's got to be some egos here too, where it's like, yo, I was wrong, but I'm not gonna say I'm wrong because that's gonna feel like I folded. But if you folded for the complaints in the first place, why can't you fold for the rehire?
No, all he gonna do is put out a PR statement. It's just like, due to recent events and the outpouring of support from the public, we have realized we may have made a rash decision, and we believe in forgiveness and second chances. So based on that, we will reinstate James Gunn. That's all they got to do. And it's fixed. And you put the Band-Aid, put the Band-Aid on and fix that. And the funny
thing is, if they do it, they'll get even more positive press around the
Yes.
That's why I think this whole thing was planned because they're geniuses at marketing over there.
You'll just hear the music for the next Guardians trailer.
And then when they just say big, real big, directed by James Gunn, the whole audience is gonna go crazy.
They're gonna play "The Boys Are Back in Town." Watch.
And you know when
I see it already.
You know when
the
they
commercial's gonna be crazy.
That he's coming back.
Yeah.
The week before Aquaman comes out.
Yeah.
Because they can't let DC have nothing.
It's gonna be great, man. It's gonna be epic. I'm all for it, bro.
All right, I think that's all I got.
That's all she wrote, bro.
Any other topics you wanted to discuss this week?
Nah, man. Thanks for Annie and everybody who's watching. We appreciate you. You the real MVPs.
Yes. Tell them where they can find you, good sir.
You can find me at the Dude Abides with a couple, periods in between and a Z at the end. I don't think I said that in the right order, but the period dude period abides with a Z.
All right,
you can find me there.
Yeah, I put it on the screen. Anything you want to let the people know about other than where to find you?
Just subscribe to the channel, like, share,
and share
follow
this with your friends and put it on your social media.
Watch all our other shows. Follow me on Instagram. Follow Steve on Instagram. Follow Why Woods Why Not on Instagram. Support. We appreciate it.
All right, and you can find me on your favorite social media network, as long as it's not Snapchat, at Steve A.M. Johnson. You can also find me every Saturday on the second page, and every now and again on the 36 Chambers of Fatherhood, and we have more things to come. But again, it really helps us out if you take a moment to like, share, subscribe, and hit the little bell if you're watching this on YouTube, because we're also on live streaming on YouTube, so that you know whenever we go live. And with that, we are out of here.
Deuces.
Drugs, not drugs.